Bhagavad. But then the question comes, why should I read Bhagavad Gita? Just because it is, the so-called dharma book, for, now they call it as Hindus. The book is for Hindus, the dharma, Hindu dharma ka book hai. Is it that reason why I should read Bhagavad Gita, or there is something more in this book, that is the reason I should read it? So Bhagavad Gita, this book has a very interesting context. So we all know Bhagavad Gita is a small section from Mahabharata. So Mahabharata as a scripture, it consists of around 1,20,000 verses, shlokas. 1,20,000 श्लोक है महाभारत में. Anyone has any idea how many shlokas are there in Bhagavad Gita? Any guesswork?
700.
Excellent. 700 shlokas. So there are 700 shlokas in Bhagavad Gita. So it's a very, very tiny section of Mahabharata. Okay, this Bhagavad Gita is a very tiny section. It is one conversation of this entire Mahabharata literature. But then why does this conversation stand out so much? This conversation stands out so much because in the entire Mahabharata, one of the critical events that happened in the Mahabharata was the Battle of Mahabharata. Okay, the battle between the good and evil, dharma and adharma, what we call it. And in this battle, one of the most powerful warriors was Arjuna. Now, Arjuna, if you study him as a person, he was a highly capable person. Okay, he was a very, very brave and powerful personality. I mean, Arjuna, he had huge strength. He had even defeated the gods in a battle. Actually, he was a highly skilled warrior, because he had an ability to fight with thousands of warriors simultaneously. And Arjuna had shown that in the war of Virat. Just before the Mahabharata battle, there is a battle of Virat where single-handedly Arjuna goes and he defeats like thousands of warriors over there, which included all Bhishma, Karna, Drona. I mean, that's a part of Mahabharata, so we'll not get too much into it. But just to tell that he was highly skilled. So he was competent. He had the knowledge about all the different warfares. He had the knowledge about different weaponaries. Okay, so a person who is highly skilled, a person who is highly competent, a person who is highly capable, and Arjuna was highly motivated also. He was highly motivated to fight the Battle of Mahabharata because there were many things for which he also wanted to, he really wanted that war, so he was motivated enough to fight the Battle of Mahabharata. But in spite of having all these traits, when Arjuna was brought in front of his own relatives and brothers to fight the battle, he went into depression. The same skills which, were of pride and boast for Arjuna, those skills failed him at that crucial moment of life. Okay. And at that point in time, when Arjuna went into the mode of depression, Lord Krishna spoke this divine knowledge, which we call as Bhagavad Gita, to Arjuna to revive him back so that he could perform his duty. That is what, in a nutshell, this whole Bhagavad Gita is. So Bhagavad Gita is that knowledge, okay, or Bhagavad Gita is that inspirational speech that helps guide any human being, no matter what crisis he is going in his life. And even if he's not going through any crisis in his life, still it will help him guide throughout his life. That is what this amazing science of Bhagavad Gita is. Now, this entire Bhagavad Gita is divided into 5 subjects. Okay. If you look at the whole Bhagavad Gita, 18 chapters, 700 shlokas, it either talks about Jiva. Jiva is the soul. Or it talks about Ishvara. Ishvara is God or controller. Or it talks about Prakriti. Prakriti is material nature. Or it talks about karma. Karma is the laws, that is action reaction. And the fifth subject it talks about is kala, that is time factor. These are the five primary topics which the entire Bhagavad Gita covers. Okay, there is a mix and match and combinations of all these topics, but pretty much these are the five topics that this Bhagavad Gita covers. So as a part of this session, where we have these five different sessions that we have planned, we plan to cover all these five topics at a basic level, so that when we read Bhagavad Gita or when we hear Bhagavad Gita or when someone talks to us about Bhagavad Gita, we don't feel no voice, when we hear those things. At least we have a fair amount of idea, what it is and what it is not. So that this is the context about what these sessions are going to be. Okay. How we would do these sessions is, we have planned a 1 hour 15 minutes, for the entire session. Normally it would take more than that actually, but let's see how we can complete it within 1 hour 15 minutes. But for 1 hour, I will just try to give an explanation of the particular topic for that particular session. And if you have any doubts, if you have any questions or comments related to that session, I request you all during the session, you please pen them down. Okay. At the end of the sessions, we will get into a discussion to discuss those questions, queries, doubts, concerns, whatever they are, at the end of the session. We would not actually get into the discussion of questions in between the sessions, because what happens is, in during the session while it's going on, if we start addressing questions, sometimes it takes us haywire. So I don't want to get really diverted because of that, but at the same time I don't want to miss those questions, or I don't want those doubts to be lingering around. So let's please, I would suggest that you please pen them down, and I will try to answer them. In case we are not able to complete all the question answers, we have our WhatsApp group. Please send your questions on the WhatsApp group, and we will try to address them either on the WhatsApp group itself, or we will try to address them in the next session. So this is a very brief background about what these sessions are, why these sessions are, and how we will flow through this. Okay. So at this point, quickly, I will ask, anyone has any questions about this flow, or any concerns or any comments?
No.
No.
Okay, perfect, good. So we will start then. So today's our first topic for discussion today is quest for happiness. Why is it so elusive? So happiness, basically, how many of us over here are foodie people, who like to eat food, different varieties of food, who really enjoy different tastes of food? You can raise your hands on this chat itself. I don't know, right? Most of us, everyone, right? Now we all know that if I eat every day, if I eat rice, dal, roti, and sabji, these four items, will it nourish me? If I eat them every day, will it keep me healthy? Yes or no?
No.
Right? But in spite of that, on some days I feel, yaar, vada pav khana hai aaj, yaar, pizza khana hai, अरे डोसा खाना है, पानी पूरी खाना है, right? We feel, right, that in spite of knowing that rice, dal, roti, sabji is enough for me, still I want this different varieties. Why? The question is why. A simple answer is maza aana chahiye. I want that food which gives me enjoyment, right? So if we take the example of food, likewise, you take the example of anything that you do in your life. anything in that you do in your life, what is the basic thing that you're looking for in that activity? What is the thing that we looking at? हम में से is there anyone who does any activity कि भैया आज मुझे ऐसा कुछ करना है जिसके वजह से 2 hours I want to cry, 2 घंटे के लिए मुझे दुख चाहिए बस? Is there any activity in this world or any activity that we ever perform, where I want some misery, unhappiness, right? Every activity that we perform, the whole and sole purpose for that activity is I want happiness from this activity. I want pleasure from that activity, right? Dekho aap, you just sit and you think about it. There is no other, there is no other purpose. Why do we study? To earn money. Why do you want to earn money? To get a good job. Why do you want to get a good job? To get a good wife. Why do you want a good wife? To feel happy. Acha, why do you want a good job? To get a lot of money. Acha, why do you want a lot of money? To have a nice bungalow and have a nice car. When you have that, what will you get? Happiness. Okay. So aisa, if you go to the root level and root level say, you start, there was that famous joke also, right? Bill Gates ka ek joke tha na. This Bill Gates goes to this one fellow who is sitting beneath a tree and he's sleeping and he's singing and वो ऐसा बजा रहा है कुछ तो वहां पर. And this Bill Gates says, hey, what are you doing? And he's a fisherman actually. He's saying, what? I'm nicely enjoying and playing over here. He said, Arey, this is a time to work. Why don't you go inside the sea? And he says, what will I do going inside the sea? He says, this is the good time. You can catch so many fish. He said, okay, if I catch so many fish, what will I do? So you can go to the market and sell those fish. And then he says, you can earn a lot of money. And what do I do with that money? He said, Bill Gates said, if you get a lot of money, then, you can sit nicely and enjoy. And he says, what am I doing now then? He says, so the fundamental reason why we are doing what we are doing is happiness. ये दिमाग में बिठा लो. Rather at subconsciously or many times very much aware we are of this fact that we want happiness from it. Now the second question comes is, let me इसको थोड़ा कम कर देता हूँ. Second question comes is, how much will make me happy? How much will make me happy? This is a big question, right? कि happiness कितना चाहिए and how much it will make me happy. You have heard about this Club 99? सुना है क्या आप लोगों ने? You have heard about this Club 99? How many of you have heard about this Club 99? Anyone? You're all on mute. You can unmute if you want.
No, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Never heard of it.
You have never heard about this Club 99? Okay. But most of us are members of Club 99. Let me tell you. If you don't know, you can claim that membership. Okay, it's an amazing club. Okay, I'll tell you what that Club 99 is. So what happened is, once upon a time, there was this, there was a king actually. This king with his minister, he was going, just ऐसा देश भ्रमण के लिए निकला था, just to see his own kingdom, how things are and all those things. And while he was just going, all of a sudden, at the outskirts of a village, he came across a family. And in that family, this king was observing and he saw the wife and the husband, they are playing and dancing. The kids are, making fun and they are also enjoying with them. And there is so much harmony amongst that family where the kids are also harmoniously interacting with the parents and the parents are playing with the kids. They have so much time for the kids and they are only laughing and enjoying and dancing. Everything the king was looking at was just happiness. उसको family में दिखाई दे रहा था. वो king confused हो गया. वो minister को बोला, अबे राजा कौन है? ये क्या मैं है? In this kingdom, these fellows are more happier than me. How is it possible? The minister said that, my dear king, they are happy because they have not joined the 99 club. King bola, what is 99 club? So the minister said, I will tell you, but you have to give me 99 gold coins. So king said, okay, take this 99 gold coins, but you better tell me what this 99 club is. So he said, I will tell you after 6 months, not now. Okay. So what this minister does is, on that night, he keeps that bag of 99 gold coins outside the door of this villager, this, farmer or whoever that person is. Next morning, as usual, the farmer opens the door to go out, and all of a sudden he gets knocked down because of this bag, you know. And when he gets knocked down, he's curious to know what's there in the bag. He opens the bag, and there are those, beautiful glittering golden coins, and his eyes are lit up, and he's like amazed because he has never seen so much gold coins. Actually, rather, he has never seen a gold coin, and all of a sudden there are so many gold coins right in front of his door, and no one there to claim it. For him, he immediately takes that bag inside his house and he starts counting them. And when he counts them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and he comes to the point 99. Oh, there is some mistake, he says. How come 99? He calls, hey, wife, come here, come here. She says, what's that? Says, can you count these coins? And she starts counting 1, 2, 3, 4. And she says, 99. He says, what foolish, he says, how come 99? ये could be कोई number है क्या? देते वक्त you should give a round number ना, round figure देना चाहिए, 100 देना चाहिए. Then he calls the kids also, and they also count, and eventually it's 99 coins, So this fellow, he says, no, this is not a good number. He says, we need to make it 100. So we are one short of a coin. So what can we do to get that gold coin? So the wife says, you got to earn. You have to work hard for this coin. So he says, fine. दिन रात बेचारा मेहनत चालू करता है, वो एक coin कमाने के लिए. And then the wife is seeing that the husband is struggling, and every day he comes home and he's still worried about those 99 coins, barabar hai ya nahi hai, safe hai ya nahi, and all those things. Then one day the wife gets fed up with this whole thing and she thinks, what nonsense, my husband, itna 99 coins mila hai, kuch kar nahi raha hai, main jaake shopping karke aati hu, jaake 2 coins kharcha karke aati hai. बच्चे जाके 2 coins खर्चा करके आते हैं. हस्बैंड वापस घर पे आता है. He sees, oh my God, he says, I had 99, now there are only 95 over here. तो क्या? So then he starts arguing with his wife. तुमने कहाँ इसको गवा दिया? बच्चों से he starts fighting and all those things. And all of a sudden there is only chaos, problems, these, that, all those things. And after 6 months, when the king comes again over there with his minister, what the king notices is that this time he only sees there is chaos in the family, there are fights in the family, there are accusations in the family, and all of a sudden he finds everyone is only tired in the family. The king tells his minister, what happened in 6 months that there is a almost 180-degree or 360-degree change in this entire family? What has transpired? So the minister said they joined the 99 club. The king said, "Arey Baba, bata yaar, ye 99 club hai kya?" He said they had 99 coins to enjoy, but they ran behind that one coin. Did not worry about spending the 99 coins and just kept running behind that one coin, and they lost all their sleep. Similarly, in our life also, there are 99 things we can be happy about. But there is always that one thing which we feel is missing, and we keep running behind that one thing, forgetting the 99 things which can give us happiness. Okay, so how much will make me happy? There are so many such stories in Puranas. I mean, a very classical story in Puran is about this Hiranyakashipu. If you have heard about the Narasimha story, right? This Narasimha story kya tha? This Prahlad Maharaj's father, he was such a powerful man. He got a boon from Brahma, okay? And he became so powerful that everyone in the entire world was serving him. There was only one person who was not ready to serve him, and that was his own son, Prahlad. And usi ke piche ye itna haath dhoke pad gaya that he lost sleep over that one son. The entire globe is ready to serve him, but he forgot about the entire globe. But this one fellow, why is he not serving me? And uske piche itna kya lag gaya that he had to lose his life because of that. So how much will make me happy? You know, so this is a question we should ask ourselves. How much will make me happy? Okay. So on this slide, I have put three things. One is, what is happiness? Okay. So happiness ke definition pe we will come. But all in all, one thing we all can agree is the goal of our life, or whatever we do in our life, is to achieve happiness. But do we really achieve happiness is a question, because how much happiness, what happiness is, and all those questions, now we will try to get answers to. But at least, are we agreeing on the goal? Is there anyone over here who feels that no, the goal of my life is not happiness, it is something else? ऐसा कोई है क्या इधर? Sometimes, you know, sometimes people feel that I don't want to be happy, but I want to make others happy. You know, they feel that I want to make others happy. That's the goal of my life. But when you make others happy, you are feeling satisfied and peaceful. That means you are also becoming happy with that. So, I mean, subtly or grossly, the goal of our life is happiness. Okay, that, you know, let's accept that actually. Okay, so we will move on unless anyone has any other thoughts on this. No? Okay, so we move on. Okay, so before we start with the second slide, interesting question. When we take admissions in college, let's talk about college, not school. Let's talk about college. What are the different categories? What are the different categories in which they get admission? Like, for example, we have open, we have reserved category. Open category, reserved category. Everyone agrees, right? Open category, जो merit के ऊपर जितना marks मिलेगा उसके हिसाब से बैठ जाओ. Reserved category is OBC हो, SC हो, ST हो, whatever. Based on that, you get this thing, right? So there is open category, reserved category. Are there any other categories? Admission में, are there any other categories? You all are on mute.
Management quota by donation.
Management quota is there, by donation is there, right? Any other one?
Economically weaker section.
Economically weaker section is there. Sports quota is there, right? Sports quota is there. So,
handicap.
Sorry, yeah, repeat that again.
Handicap.
Handicap, yes, yes. Disabled, right? So disability category is also there.
Prabhuji, defense quota bhi hai.
Defense quota is there, correct? If you are serving any government organization, you get some, special quota. So there are so many different categories are there, right? There are so many different categories. So why are there different categories? What do these different categories represent? What do these different categories represent?
Different sections of societies.
Yes, there are differences basically. The categories represent that there are differences, right? So there is something common and there are some differences. We agree? What is common in this whole thing? In all the categories, what is common? Students, right? Students are common. Whether he comes from a defense, whether he comes from a reserve category, whether he comes from an open category, everywhere वो सब students ही आएंगे. The only difference is, who comes with how much money, or who comes with what kind of jack, or who comes with what kind of skills and all those things. That is what varies. So there is that differentiation, but there is also some commonality, right? Clear? Okay. Now, similarly, when we talk about humans, or rather than humans, let's talk about living entities. Okay. How many different types of living entities are there? Anyone? How many different types of living entities are there? Categories, batao. Categories. Okay. I'll not ask you a count. We are not getting a census count over here, right? We are talking about categories briefly. Like, for example, there is a human category, animal category, then there is
Birds,
birds, correct? Then
insects,
insects, reptiles. What
Yep.
else?
mm,
Amphibians.
Amphibians, okay, aquatic,
Yeah.
plants.
plants, trees are there, right? So all these different categories are there. Okay. What are the things that are common in these categories?
Eating.
Huh?
Life, life,
Ruko,
Eating. They
what?
eat. They eat.
Eat. Okay, eating. Okay, I'm going to note it down over here. Eating. What else?
all have life.
हाँ वो तो हो गया इसीलिए लिविंग एंटिटीज बोला.
Breathing.
Next. Huh?
Breathing.
Breathing. That's why they have life. Correct. Okay.
So that's the common point I feel.
Okay. Okay. Breathing. Fine. Eating, breathing. What else?
Sleep.
Defending. Everyone is working for their survival and everyone has their own mechanism of protection. You agree to that?
Yeah.
Okay. Defending.
Sleeping.
Sleeping. Okay. And anything else? Reproducing. Every living entity has the ability to reproduce another living entities, right? Gives birth to other living entities, right?
And death.
Okay. I mean, death, birth, fine. I mean, they are common to all of them. But ye jo hai, so while they live, what are the common activities? So we can always say that eating, sleeping, defending, reproducing, breathing, these are like the common activities that all of them have, right? So then, does it mean that there is no difference between, so ye ho gaye common activities, right? These are the common things. What is the difference between humans and these other living entities? So we talked about the common things. Now let's talk about the differences.
Emotions and Icha Shakti.
Wow. Okay. Emotions. Okay. We'll
But
create
animals do have emotions, no, sir?
Yes, yes. They also have emotions. But I'll note it down and then we talk and debate. Okay. Emotions. Okay. What else?
Brain.
ये ब्रेन जानवरों में नहीं होता है क्या ब्रेन?
No, logical thinking.
What do you mean by logical thinking?
Humans have more evolved logical thinking than animals.
I had a cat. She was so smart that she would exactly know when no one is at home and she would drink the milk from other people's home. She never drank milk from my home actually, but दूसरों के घर के पी के आती थी वो घर पे. So others would shout and I used to keep her at my home, So animals also have a lot of logical thinking, but yeah, you can say evolved logical thinking. So I'll put it down. Okay, what else?
Languages.
They also
Communication.
have their languages. What is the difference between humans and animals?
Prabhuji, tail.
Okay, tail, fine. चलो tail लिख लेते हैं. Okay, what else? Rational thinking, do you think? reasoning, ability to reason, ability to question. What do you think? I'll give you an example. Okay. Say, for example, if there is an announcement tomorrow that in the Pizza Hut, they are going to serve free pizzas if you come between this to this hour of the day. And you go over there and you see there is a long queue of people, and you also stand behind them because it's going to be a free pizza. The first person walks inside the Pizza Hut and the others are still waiting outside until the first one gets served the pizza. And all of a sudden from inside you hear a huge noise. Bachao! Chilla raha hai wo andar se. And you see some blood coming out from that Pizza Hut. What do you think the other people will do? How many of them will wait for their turn for the pizza? They all will run away, right?
They will vanish. Yeah.
They will vanish, right? No disagreements on this, right? I mean, unless someone is mad, blind or deaf, aisa kuch ho, to fir baat alag hai. But we are talking about normal people over there. Have you ever visited any of the slaughterhouses? I don't know how many of you had the opportunity to visit. Before coming to Krishna consciousness, I have visited slaughterhouses. I have gone,
I have visited Prabhuji.
Yeah. Okay. And if you go to a typical, slaughterhouse, okay, not something like आजकल जो machine वाला जो रहता है उसमें तो पता ही नहीं चलता है तुमको क्या हो रहा है अंदर. But if you go to a typical slaughterhouse where there are those humans who are cutting the flesh by their own hands and killing animals, you will see that this butcher, he is killing a goat, and there are 10 other goats who are just standing outside and they are very nicely enjoying the grass that is thrown in front of them. Have you seen that? I have seen that. And if you have not seen it, you can still see it. When it comes to animals, you will see this tendency that the animals, they don't question कि उसके साथ क्यों हो रहा है और क्या हो रहा है. They are busy enjoying their life without questioning why the other one is suffering over there. Okay. But when it comes to humans have that rational थोड़ा सा thinking होता है. कभी कभी फुकट में भी अगर आम मिलता है तो आदमी सोचता है कि फुकट में क्यों बेच रहा है, जरूर कुछ गड़बड़ है. अंदर सड़ा हुआ होगा या कुछ तो जहर डाला होगा. Sometimes men or sometimes humans tend to overthink, but in general they should give a thought before they perform any action, right? Agree to this? So rational thinking is one of the things. So rational thinking. Anything else you can think of? Rational thinking, ability to question, inquiry. These are the things that humans do, right?
Humans have their survival strategies.
Animals also have their survival strategies. I mean, if you watch Discovery Channel or National Geographic, you will see the kind of amazing things the animals do to, protect their near and dear ones and also themselves. They also have their own survival strategies.
Hanji, Radhe Radhe Prabhuji.
Yes, yes.
I think animals cannot pray, and being humans, we can pray and say bhajans for Krishna.
I mean, just because you understand the language of humans, I mean, you can't say that. But yeah, to a certain extent, you're right. Yes, I mean, they cannot learn, they cannot pray, but I mean, it would be not right to judge on that aspect because animals also speak, right? They also have their own language. We don't know what they are saying in that language. कभी कभी हमको गाली भी देते होंगे. Sometimes they will be cracking a joke on us. We don't even know, But yeah, but all in all, if you see, animals live by instincts. animal instinct. Nowadays many people have it on their t-shirts or something, just do it, don't think, just do it. That is animal instinct. But humans are not meant for animal instinct, otherwise it makes them animals. Okay, so I've just put this on the slide. So eating, sleeping, mating, defending, these are the 4 things that we talk are common between us and animals. Okay, and there is another aspect which differentiates between us and animals, and that is the ability to ask questions or rational thinking. But if I ask questions or if I do my rational thinking only to obtain eating, sleeping, mating, and defending in a better manner, like someone might say, हाँ ठीक है, animal वो रास्ते पे का खाता है, and मैं तो, I eat in a nice restaurant or I eat at my home very nice cooked delicious food. Well, in terms of strength, we can't match the strength of that animal who sits over there and eats on the street, right? Or sleeping wise, there is no difference in the quality of sleep when we sleep on our Dunlop beds and when they sleep on the roads. They get equally sound sleep. Sometimes हमको नींद आता नहीं है इतना अच्छा बेड होने के बावजूद. We have this neck problem and back problem and this and that, right? Or we have better mating facilities than they have, or something like that, or we have, just because we have missiles and we have this nuclear technologies and all those things, that we can defend better than them. They also have their defense abilities and all those things. So if my ability to question or think rationally is only hovering around these 4 things, then it makes me only a better animal or a sophisticated animal. It doesn't make me human. Okay, so what makes me human? Okay, so this is a shloka that is there in Mahabharata. Okay, not in Bhagavad Gita, but this is a shloka in Mahabharata. Ahar nidra bhay maithunacha samanya etat pashubhir naranam dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho dharmena hina pashubhi samana. So ahar, eating, sleeping, mating, defending, defending and mating. Samanya etat pashu, this is similar, this is same in both humans and animals. Dharmo hi tesham, dharma is basically the ability to inquire, question, okay, question about right things. When it talks about dharma is about right things. What are those right things will come, okay, what are those right things will come, but this is what it is, dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesha. If I don't have that ability, then I am as good as an animal. This is what the scriptures define. So now the question comes that, okay, I understood the goal of my life is to obtain happiness. Fine. And I also understood that as a human, I have some special ability in me to question, to inquire, and all those things. So what is that comes in between me obtaining happiness? Why don't I get happiness? What is that stops me from getting happiness in life? Okay, so typical answer is there are many problems in life or many circumstances, situations in life which kind of prohibit us from getting happiness. So my next question to all of you is, what is a problem, or what are the problems of life? Anyone?
Unemployment.
Unemployment. Okay. Okay. What else?
Satisfaction.
Kya? Tax.
Satisfaction.
Satisfaction. So वो problem है क्या satisfaction? Or no satisfaction is a problem?
No satisfaction.
No satisfaction is a problem. No satisfaction. Okay. Okay, what else?
Less money.
Less money. Okay. What else?
Um,
Okay, what I'm going to do now is, so whether these things that are mentioned over here, unemployment, less money, no satisfaction, are they really problems or not problems? Okay, so what I will do is, I will give a definition of a problem. And now you again rethink and tell me which is a real problem. Okay, so we'll talk about a definition. A problem is a problem. A problem is a problem if it is faced by everyone. Okay, like for example, Bill Gates does not have a money problem. I have a money problem. So it is a problem for me, not a problem for him. Okay. Now someone might say, "Arey nahi, usko bhi problem hai, rakhne ke liye jagah nahi hai." But I gave him so many times a choice to keep at my home. He never agreed. So, so not a problem. So not always what we think. Unemployment might be a problem for the person who is unemployed, but there are so many guys who are employed, so they don't have that problem. So a
Pandemic.
Sorry?
Pandemic. COVID.
COVID, correct. So we'll come to that. So first criteria is faced by everyone. Okay. The second criteria is no one wants it. There should be no person who should be happy to get that problem. Okay. Like disease is a problem, but sometimes the doctors are happy, they want it to come because that gives them, money. So, but no one wants it. Third, no one can avoid it. No matter what you do, no matter how much you run or whatever you put in place, you cannot avoid this problem. And fourth is, there is no solution available to it to solve the problem. You can just go around and around, to this. अब ये चार criteria में बैठने वाले, you tell me what are the problems of life.
Nothing.
Death, disease, birth. This.
Yeah. So death is faced by everyone. No one wants it. अब ये मत बताओ कि नहीं कुछ लोग मरना चाहते हैं, सुइसाइड है, बहुत जिंदगी से हैरान है, वो सब केसेस मत बताओ मुझे. But no one wants it. Actually, no one wants it, but it's just that person has led such a miserable life that at one point he is now ready to give up. But no one wants it in general. No one can avoid it. No one can avoid it. I mean, there is no beautiful woman in this world who can, seduce death, saying that, oh, my dear death, I can offer you my beauty to make kaam karo, you just skip me. Or there is no wealthy person in this world who can bribe death. Or there is no influential person in this world who can influence death. No one can avoid it. And there is no solution available, right? There is no solution available. I don't know how many of you are aware, this Walt Disney, this Walt Disney, who actually built this entire Disney world. His body was preserved. His last wish was, when he was about to die, his wish was that my body be preserved so that in future, if the scientists find a solution over death, then using that, you bring me back to life. The scientists told Walt Disney that, oh, I mean, we can help you come up with such kind of solution, but it will take so many millions of dollars. So Walt Disney said, fine, I will sponsor you. Sponsor किया, मर गया. मरने के बाद, this scientist, इनके पास तो कोई solution था नहीं, but how do they, explain the spending? So they used to put some news after every 5 years. We are very close to that. We are almost about to the point where we will bring back a person from death. घर वालों को टेंशन आ गया, प्रॉपर्टी बच चुका था, बंटवारे हो चुके थे. ऑल ऑफ अ सडन रियली क्या आ रहा है क्या सोल्यूशन ऐसे? बोले हाँ, ऑलमोस्ट अगले 1 साल में आप देख लेना, योर फादर विल बी बैक. एक काम करो, डोंट डू दैट, वी विल गिव यू मिलियंस, विल गिव यू मिलियन, सोल्यूशन बंद रखो, डोंट ब्रिंग दैट सोल्यूशन बैक. So like this, the world is full of cheating and cheaters. There is no solution available, for this. So death is one who fits in this criteria. What else? What are the other problems? Disease, someone said about corona, right? If not corona, something else will come. But disease is something which comes from time to time, and some or the other disease, right? I mean, you might have X disease and I might have Y disease, but eventually we will get some or the other disease which makes us discomfort, right?
Prabhuji, can we say?
Yes. Yeah, you're saying something?
Actually, we are on different systems, so I think it is creating some glitches.
Okay.
So, okay. Can we say like whatever thing which we are not able to, which doesn't give us happiness, or which doesn't give us a solution, is a problem.
See, that's what I'm saying. That is a relative thing, right? For example,
But that's not faced by everyone.
correct. That's what yeah. So like, I'll give you a simple scenario, right? You are about to catch a train from Pune to Delhi. Okay. All of a sudden, while you leave from your home, you're stuck in the traffic. And because of the traffic, you get delayed. The train was about to leave at 6 p.m. in the evening. You reached the railway platform at around 7 p.m. to notice that the train is still standing on the platform. So are you happy looking at the train?
No.
Why? Are train mil gaya na tumko? Why would you not be happy? You have not missed the train, right? You will be happy, right? To see the train on the platform. Yeah. But then what about that person who is sitting inside the train who reached the platform at 5 p.m.? वो तो अंदर बैठ के गाली दे रहा होगा, अरे ये इंडिया वाले ना कभी नहीं सुधरेंगे, never these fellows will start on time, कुछ ना कुछ तो बहाना बनाएंगे. That fellow is miserable inside who came on time. Same situation, two people coming from two different backgrounds and they are experiencing two different emotions. You get it? So this is relative. Okay, this is relative thing. So what you also talked about is a relative thing, but we are talking about something which is common. Okay, and if you really look closely, typical things that come is death, disease, old age. Old age also is something which no one wants, because old age में सब कुछ परेशान हो जाता है, like there was these three old men who were having a talk amongst themselves. The first old man said, my God, इतना परेशान हो गया हूँ. I am 70 years old and it is so difficult for me to pass water from my body. Urine pass ही नहीं होता है, पूरा bloat हो जाता हूँ. The second guy said, I'm 80 years old. It's so difficult to pass bowels. So difficult. Always my stomach is congested, always परेशानी रहता है. The third one said, I'm 90 years old. Every morning, sharp at 6 a.m., I pass water with no problem. Every morning at 7 a.m., I pass stool, no problem. 8 a.m., I wake up from my bed. मतलब नींद में ही सब हो रहा है, घर वाले परेशान हो रहे हैं, because he's doing that same thing just like a child who does, right? Old age is very miserable. Very, very miserable situation where there are so many things. Your desires never die down, but your body is not supporting. So old age is not something which everyone wants, but everyone has to go through it, provided you live that long. Okay. But yeah. And finally, birth. Birth, sometimes, it becomes a very controversial thing, because people say that, hey, how can birth be a problem? We are so happy when a baby is born at home, everyone is celebrating and clapping and this and that. But we are not talking about your happiness. We are talking about the baby's thing, right? What the baby goes through at the time of birth. The baby who is sitting in the womb of the mother. There is a video actually on YouTube. If you see, there is a video about the doctors removing a bag. वो जो bag रहता है ना, गर्भ bag जो भी रहता है. Yeah. That bag they remove from the womb of the mother and the bag is still enclosed. ऐसा प्लास्टिक के थैली जैसा वो रहता है पूरा. एंड उसके अंदर वो बेबी है ना, ऐसा सिकुड़ के बैठा हुआ है, एंड अपसाइड डाउन, शीर्षासन, अपसाइड डाउन. Half of the bag is full of water. Imagine, agar if I ask you to put your head inside a bucket of water, how long can you put your head inside the bucket of water? Not more than few seconds or minutes, right? But the baby is in that position, putting the head inside the water for 9 months inside the womb of the mother, and not just like that. उसको कोई मसाज वसाज नहीं कर रहा है, बेचारा एक सुकुड़ के वो बेबी उसके अंदर वैसे बैठा हुआ है. And whatever worms, कीड़े, sometimes the mother eats some spicy stuff and all those things, all that is coming on the delicate body of that baby, and उसको rashes होता है, ये होता है, everything that the baby is going through inside. We don't notice, but the baby experiences all that thing. And that video shows the moment that bag is cut, immediately वो baby है ना एक ऐसे rubber band के जैसा पूरा खुल जाता है. Then he starts spreading his legs and hands and all those things, right? When the baby comes out of the womb, what is the first thing the baby does? Starts crying. And बेचारा अगर नहीं रोया तो डॉक्टर बोलते कुछ तो प्रॉब्लम है, तो चिमटी निकालेंगे, मारेंगे, ये करेंगे, उसको रुलाएंगे, लेकिन first thing they do is make the baby cry. That is how miserable life of the baby is actually, for whatever those initial 2-3 years, जब तक वो बोल नहीं पाता है, he is not able to express his emotions. When his stomach starts paining, he is only crying. And when he's crying, the mother doesn't understand why he's crying. Sometimes she thinks he is hungry, that is why he's crying. But usko ho gaya hota hai constipation, so she feeds him. And sometimes she feels he is constipated, बेचारा hungry होता है, और उसके ऊपर पेट के ऊपर कुछ लगाते बैठते हैं. So the whole situation is a very helpless situation of the child, and this entire process of birth also is a very, very painful process actually. So these are problems of life which everyone has to undergo. And other than these 4 problems, there are 3 more problems. Okay, they are called in scriptures as Adi Daivik, Adhyatmik, and Adi Bhautik. Adi Daivik, the problems created by natural calamities. मतलब tsunami आया, floods आया, those kind of calamities, natural calamity. Earthquake आ गया, I am sleeping nicely at home and all of a sudden there is an earthquake. Natural calamities. Problems created by other living entities, other living entities. For example, I am sleeping or I am staying healthy at my home, and all of a sudden from somewhere, mosquito comes, he bites me and I get dengue. Khatam, So other living entities, they create problems. Bahar wala, baju wala kuch gali deke chala gaya. The neighbors are creating some nuisance or something like that. Relatives make some taunting comments and all those things. So problems created by other living entities, and problem created by our own body. Our own body. Sometimes, there are certain situations in life which you don't want to remember, but your mind keeps troubling you by bringing those situations again and again. Then you lose sleep, you lose hunger, you lose so many things. Sometimes our own body troubles us like anything. You plan for a nice holiday, and on the day of holiday, all of a sudden you realize that dysentery has started for me. Khatam, pura plan khatam ho gaya. The problem has come only from your own body. So Adi Daivik, Adi Bhautik, and Adhyatmik, these 3 are also other 3 problems. Like this, there are these 7 problems of life, which always keep us away from the so-called happiness in this world. So when we talked about the ability to inquire in human beings is something which is more than animals, that inquiry should be about these problems. When it is about these problems, that why these problems and how do I overcome these problems, that questioning or that ability to get answers is called as dharma. Gautam Buddha story, all of us know, right? When Gautam Buddha came out, these were the 4 things he experienced, and then he felt, oh, what am I doing inside? I need to find solutions for this, because otherwise I also have to go through all these things. So that is the true dharma of living entities, or you can say that is the true sign of a civilized human being. Otherwise, if we live like animals, we are more than animalistic. Okay. So we talked about the problems of life. Now, something which is debatable, questionable, many a times arguments are raised about this. Does technological progress make people feel happy? Okay. So we know we have advanced so much as compared to, our grandparents or their parents. If you go 2 or 3 generations behind, I mean, the technology today is way forward than what they had. but we also know the quality of life that they lived was much better than what we are living today, right? Technology, in the guise of giving happiness to us, has only aggravated our problems more, right? And so many examples we can give about. We can start from the medicinal industry, where today there are so many medicines, but with medicines come side effects, and when those side effects are there, you need to go for additional medicines to get rid of the side effects, and it's like a vicious circle. We talk about, we are able to very nicely communicate with people because of the cell phone technology and all those things, but at the same time we know we are all surrounded by radiations. People originally were fed up when bullock carts would go on the street, and they would think, what a foul smell, everywhere we go, this bulls, and they are just putting their shits and dungs on the road, and it's such a foul thing and uncleanliness. That is why they built nice cement roads and tar roads, and automobile industry was invented. Now, what is the problem? The problem with this is, now we have health issues. Forget, the animal thing. We have started developing health issues, pollutions, and all those things have come, right? So much advancement we see in our day-to-day life, where so much work has been reduced. मतलब कपड़े धोने का मशीन आ गया है, बर्तन मांजने का मशीन बर्तन धोने का मशीन आ गया है, grinding machines have come, mixers have come. Now, because of this, we hardly have to work in the kitchen also. But because of that, we develop other problems. And then you go to the physiotherapist, and udhar you see all these machines. फिर उधर वो ऐसा घुमा रहे हैं, फिर वो ऐसा डोरी को लेके ये कर रहे हैं. And the grandmother, when he walks in the same, physiotherapy thing, she says, अरे ये तो हम लोग करते थे पहले, माखन ऐसे ही निकालते थे, गिरनी ऐसे, चक्का ऐसे ही चलाते थे, right? So they never had these problems, but then all of a sudden, in the guise of technology, we only aggravated the problem. So then the question comes, is technology bad? Well, we don't say technology is bad, but what we say is technology is like a knife. If you give the knife in the hands of a wrong person, then he can create damage. But the same technology, when given in the the same knife when given in the hands of a expert surgeon, he can save lives, right? So technology, for what purpose it is used, will determine whether it is detrimental or it is beneficial. If technology is used only for aggravating the problems of our life, then it's detrimental. But if the same technology can be used in bringing about awareness among people, showing them the right guidance, taking him to the right path, then this same technology can be lifesaver or life giver, right? Okay. With this, I come to a very concluding section of this. Okay, we have 10 more minutes. Okay, so what are you looking at? When I say what are you looking at, is like, if you're looking at this as the problem and treating this, but the real problem is somewhere else. The real problem is in the root, which is not even seen. Okay, and this is a statement that is given in Bhagavad Gita. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, Dukkha, Doshanu, Darshanam. The four main problems: Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. These are the four problems which eventually are the seeds for all the other problems that we see in our life. Then, unemployment, no money, this, that, all those come after this. Those are like the side effects of all those things. But these are the root problems, of life. Okay. So one should focus on solving these problems of life, then only one can go towards right happiness. So for that, there is this one small story with which I will end actually. So there was this one sage, not sage actually, there was this one couple who were sitting beneath a tree, and the guy was making very beautiful, nice promises to the girl. Okay. And then the girl, all of a sudden, she felt something shining near her eyes. And when she looked in front of her, there was this lake, water lake. And in that lake, she found that there is a necklace which is inside the lake and it is twinkling, it's shining. So she told the guy that if you really love me and if you want to impress me, can you enter the lake and bring me this necklace? The guy said that, okay, I mean, let me try it. Though I am not a good swimmer, but for you, I will stake my life. He goes and he jumps inside the water. And when he jumps inside the water, he sees the necklace and he puts his hand over there. And when he tries to grab it, the only thing that comes inside his hand is sand. So he again comes out and he sees, GPS lagata ho, ki kahi galat dive to nahi maar diya somewhere else where then. So again he sees the necklace is still there. He again dives and again he comes out, he comes only with sand. 2-3 times he just keeps doing that. And then there is another person who is standing on the other side of the tree and he is witnessing what this fellow is doing. And then he comes to this guy and he says, what are you doing? He says, "Arey, dikhta nahi kya wo necklace hai, main wo necklace lene ja raha hu." He says, boss, the necklace is not there. The necklace is on the tree. What you see inside the water is only the reflection of the necklace. Okay. And you are trying to catch the reflection of the necklace, and that is why you're getting sand in your hand. Basically, you're looking at the wrong direction. Okay. So, same thing, when we start looking for happiness in wrong things, okay, those things which do not give happiness, then we are only going to make our lives more miserable. But then if there is a reflection, that means there has to be a true object. There cannot be a reflection without a true object. So if there is a reflection of happiness in this world, then there also has to be true happiness existing somewhere. Okay. Where that happiness is and how one can get that happiness or how we can experience that happiness, that is the topic of our discussions in our future sessions while we go through the entire Bhagavad Gita course actually. But at this point in time, the whole purpose of this session was to just emphasize on the fact that one, our goal of life is to get happiness. We all want to be happy. That is why we do what we do, how we do it. But in spite of that, and in spite of getting this human body where we have something extra than what animals have, we are still not able to get our happiness. Why? Because there are these problems, 7 problems we talked about: birth, old age, disease, death, and problems by other living entities, problems by our own body, and problems by natural calamities. The 7 things that they always keep that happiness away from us. They are always eluding that happiness from us. Okay. And our problem is we are looking for happiness in these things only. We are looking for happiness in eating, sleeping, mating, defending, these basic things only, which actually keep me eluding from happiness. That is where it is kept. The last thing I would like to say over here is, if, for example, if I imagine you are walking through a jungle and you are really tired, and at some point you feel I want to rest, and all of a sudden you see a very beautiful house in front of you. You walk inside the house and the house is very, very lavish. It is little bit dark outside. When you enter the house, the door closes, okay, and the house has all the facilities. It has very nice, seating arrangements, sofas. It has a television for you, which has more than 400 channels. The dining table is nicely arranged for you. There are all kinds of delicacies over there. You walk into the bedroom and it has the best of the beds available over there with nice air conditioners. You walk into the toilet and bathroom. It has a very nice jacuzzi and all those kind of things. So every facility is available in that house. Okay. And now you are just about to take the remote to avail the facility. And just you are about to do that, you notice that it is getting dark. And behind the remote, it is mentioned that beware, there are 7 snakes in this house. There are 7 deadly snakes in this house. Okay. What do you think? Will we be able to enjoy the facilities of that house? Or what will be our first reaction after we read that? And I don't want to debate on the fact कि कोई बोला अरे झूठ लिखा होगा, नहीं सच लिखा है, चलो मान लो कि जिसने भी लिखा है सच लिखा है. There are 7 snakes in that house. It's just that you don't know where they are right now. What will you do?
Vacate the house.
Vacate the house. You'll run away from that house. That's not the place. No matter what facilities it gives, you will try to run away from that house. Similarly, our situation is like this in this world. Okay. There are so many alluring things in this world, but at the same time, there are these 7 snakes of these problems, which are constantly haunting us, It is just that our ignorance, we are not able to perceive them, or we have forgotten them, or we don't even want to think about them just because the allurements are so catchy for us. So this is just a thought with which we will close this session, or I will stop speaking. And now I will open it up to y'all if you have any questions or doubts about this, or any comments or concerns, whatever we discussed about this session. So this was just the first session. We actually have not really gone into any Bhagavad Gita discussions, but yeah. Yes. Someone had a question?
So my question is, you said we have to fix the real problem. So real problems, as per my understanding, is 4, which we cannot fix anyway. Death, life, disease, and old age. The rest of the 3 problems that you said are relative. It will always be relative.
Well, Adi Daivik is not relative. Relative in the sense, when Adi Daivik calamity comes, you still can't do anything about it. No matter how much seismic monitoring you do, no matter how much tornadoes you observe, but you have to just evade and run and those kind of things. But again, coming to your first point about the 4 problems. So yes, you are correct that we don't have any material solution available for these 4 problems. But there are spiritual solutions available, and we will be discussing those in our forthcoming sessions. So we will be talking about those solutions.
Okay.
Yeah. And that is the beauty of this Bhagavad Gita. It gives those solutions actually. What did Gautam Buddha gain after, doing that meditation or whatever he did? He got solution to these 4 problems of life. We'll discuss all those. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Anyone else? Any doubts, questions?
Not at this moment.
Okay.
Not at least on today's topic. Today's discussion.
Okay, good. Navneet Prabhu, everyone is unmuted. Unmuted in the sense, do they have the ability to unmute themselves if they have to ask a question?
Yes.
Okay. No other query, no other question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Haribol.
Yeah, Sushant here. So, from my childhood, I heard that there are 84 lakhs of yonis. So, is it really that number, or it is more than that, or less than that?
See, that is 84 million species are there, categories. It is not the count of the living entities. Jaise, for example, in aquatics also there are different species, right? In human beings, there are different humans species. Okay, like human beings bhi aate hai, devta log bhi aate hai. We are not talking about God, we are talking about devta, that is demigods. Gandharva log aate hai, kinnar log aate hai. There are so many different species even within human beings. Similarly, even within animals, you will have different species. Trees may you have so many different species. So 84 million species are there. Okay. So that 8.4 million, 84 nahi, 8.4 million species. 80. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Fine. So if no other questions, then we will continue our discussion next Saturday. And the topic that we are going to take next Saturday is the third one actually. I just kind of needed to change the sequence. Is who is God, or rather first is, does God exist? First thing, does God exist? And then if he exists, then how can I scientifically understand that he exists? Okay, how can I scientifically understand that God exists? So that is one. Second is, who is God if he exists? And there are so many gods that we talk about. So then who is the actual God? So these are the things that we will be discussing in the next session. Okay. So just a food for thought for all of you all. Okay. Fine. So with this, we will end the session over here. If any questions or any thoughts do come in your mind, feel free to post them on the WhatsApp group, and we will try to, answer them as much as is our capacity. Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone. Hare Bol.
Hare
Thank you for your time.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare